Code meshing is a blending of languages or dialects. What most readily comes to mind is African American vernacular English or Black English or Spanglish. We're all used to hearing these in hip hop, for instance. You might also hear code meshing when you walk through the halls of Kirkwood and hear one of our many students who come from other countries blend different languages as they speak. Nobody speaks standard English all the time. Nobody speaks like we write in papers with all of the dictionary definitions and perfect grammar. In your daily life, you might use words that include sports slang, work jargon, maybe words particular to your small Iowa town. Certainly, any social media post you write to a friend will be different than the English you write in a paper. So we want to celebrate these different ways of speaking. It's just the case that other languages have poetic expressions, concepts that we don't have in standard English. Language is always evolving, and by bringing in other dialects and languages, our students can help English evolve in interesting new ways.
I think of integrating code meshing into an academic setting like a writing classroom is important because code meshing, in a way, is a much more natural way of communication than, say, typical academic writing, which I think by the time students arrive at college, they're very kind of well versed in, which is better have 5 paragraphs. The first one better say I'm arguing something, and then the other 3 must have a point. Students have all the time been kind of valorized academically for the way they can fit that formula. Code meshing instead is, like I said, the way that we naturally communicate, which is to pull lots of different kinds of not just speech and language, but different forms of communication into the same sort of speech act or a mode of communication. In fact, I designed a basic writing class. Basic writing is a sort of developmental English class here at Kirkwood around the question of other Englishes. I did that intentionally because I knew the sorts of students who would be coming in the door were oftentimes second language speakers, oftentimes going to be students from particular demographics like Black students, like Latino students, whose home language probably wasn't going to match the kinds of academic speak that we were going to be doing in class. And the assignments there were mostly reflective. We kind of learned a little bit about Ave. We learned a little bit about Spanglish, or code meshing between Spanish and English. And so I think that brought up lots of great conversations week to week with students. It decentered the idea that they all came in with, which is, I'm a bad writer because I don't know English well. And so this was a way to valorize home languages, home cultures. Anti-racist pedagogy would be teachers, first of all, acknowledging that there are still very deep inequities by ethnicity and race in our classrooms, outcomes that show themselves in things like retention and grades, but I think also in more intangible ways, students' sense of belonging. It's no surprise, I mean, studies have been done about this now, about how Black and Latino students in particular feel a deep lack of belonging, especially in elite colleges in America. But even on community college campuses where the mission has been one of social mobility for those who haven't been able to step foot into the elite class. So I think first thing is acknowledging that as a teacher, considering the ways that we all have been, I think, participating and sort of perpetuating it in our course design, in our curriculum, in our modes of instruction, by the sorts of signals that we say, this is the right or accurate language to write in. What would we do if standards could change, right? The dangerous part of this is looking at professional or standard American English, however you want to say it, and saying it's a standard for a reason, right? The only reason is a standard is because of who sets the standards, right? So how would we encourage teachers? I think one would just simply be pointing that out. And again, this is maybe, as I said, privileged on the English front. It seems a little easier because of the agency we have in the curriculum. But at the same time, I don't think there's any reason why another class in the sciences, in the business world, couldn't attempt to kind of work around the edges of their curriculum and allow opportunities to do this. I'll be teaching professional writing, that it's important that students know how to write an email, right? It's important that students know how to communicate with their boss or their coworkers. But we all have worked and know that the real communication happens at the edges, right? The real communication happens amongst coworkers, on the side, in your Slack, in the office, and it doesn't sound like it doesn't sound like your email voice when you're having those conversations, right? So I think it's important to give students opportunities, again, to have an authentic assessment, and I think code meshing, no matter the discipline, offers that opportunity.
Inconsiderate. Inconsiderate, the synonym of being selfish, thoughtlessly causing hurt and inconvenience to others. Only worried about me, never worried about you. Living only for self, there's no trust in this pool. So I guess I'm inconsiderate, right? I'm guessing if the shoe fits, caught red-handed in a whole lot of it. Selfish in life, we're sinning. Selfish in life, we're sinning. Selfish in life, we're sinning. So I guess I'm inconsiderate. I'm guessing if the shoe fits, caught red-handed in a whole lot of it. Selfish in life, we're sinning. Selfish. Pick me. I'm the one you can count on. 'Cause if I fail, I swear, I'm the one you can pout on. Putting faith in the world, speaking life in existence. Inconsiderate feelings tell me something that isn't. I've heard it all before, there's never nothing new. There's never just clear skies, always dark blue. Gotta stay on my toes just 'cause it might rain, but if it doesn't, I still prepared the right way. Never recite things that I don't mean. Never fight things that I can't see. It's gotta be tangible. Gotta be Chelsea Annalisa Vanderpool. Something like a Greek god, I'm Hades. Only thinking for self, you better pay me. For slaving, I want time, I got patience. My mental is rearranging. Compared artists like Leo, I beat them up like Neo. But for now, I'm stuck in the matrix. But this is my way out. I'm not trying to kill myself for no petty clout. They're screaming my name. Ain't no capping that. I stay keeping it critical, not caring about you. So I guess I'm inconsiderate.
When you think about code mesh writing, it's pretty easy to see how this works in a creative setting. Code meshing, in a way, I think anytime there's like a major kind of revolutionary breakthrough in some kind of art realm, you could say that there's probably some kind of code mixing going on there, right? Because the creative artist is trying to capture how things are actually experienced outside of the tech. Prominent example of this in contemporary culture is hip hop. Obviously, hip hop has now become a global phenomenon. And I think there's interesting ways that people are pushing code meshing into more professional realms. So for Shauna Shanti Young, who's a pretty prominent writing studies scholar, goes by Dr. Vey. He has been trying to play around with this idea of writing in vernacular Englishes in academic writing. And I think as a way to kind of perform the idea that you can say things in the language you're used to at home and make good insights, smart arguments, and important claims. And they don't have to look like the sort of classic academic text that maybe you're sort of compelled to read in philosophy class or a theory class. I think we do see the beginning of a kind of scholarly trend towards this. There's a whole host of Black scholars who are effectively looking at things like AVE, African American Vernacular English, and saying, not only is this a wrongly marginalized language, but this is a language with its own grammar, its own rich meaning, its own insights into social experience. And so we should be thinking about it in the same terms that we hold other Englishes.
The deadline is March 4th. The code meshing contest is an opportunity to bring any slang, dialect, or other language you speak outside of the classroom into a piece of writing that you submit for cash prizes up to $300. It could be an essay written for class or outside of it, a short story, a poem, a song. It's a way for us to celebrate the diversity of languages that Kirkwood students bring to campus, but might not always feel they can share in a piece of formal writing. Kirkwood students are eligible to enter, including dual enrollment students. To enter, just send your submission or submissions to codemesh@kirkwood.edu.